Being an attorney comes with a lot of ethical questions, but they face strict rules. In this week's Know the Law segment, Tom Sinas is here to talk about those rules and what to do if your attorney doesn't follow them.
Boy, this is a difficult area for lawyers and even more so for clients, because one thing people don't really realize when they hire a lawyer is that lawyers, of course, have to follow the law. But they also have this whole canon of ethics. And in the state of Michigan, we call that the Michigan Rules of Professional Conduct.
Obligated to abide by those rules.
Yes, under all circumstances. And these are ethical rules that lawyers learn in law school, and they're actually tested on before they can get their law license. And the rules themselves are complicated and sometimes difficult to follow and easy for lawyers to run afoul of, even if they don't mean to. I should note that we're not talking about a legal malpractice claim. If someone's represented by a lawyer and that lawyer does something that harms the person, that person may have a claim against the lawyer. We're talking here about whether or not your lawyer or someone else's lawyer is honoring their duty under the ethical code. So we could talk for a long time about this, but what are some of the basic things that lawyers get screwed up on? Conflicts of interest. The idea that a lawyer cannot represent two parties that are adverse to each other. Seems pretty basic, but it can sneak up on a lawyer.
It happens. I've seen cases where somebody's suing someone, and then you find out that that same law firm also serves the insurance company.
That's right. Or a case can go on, and you realize in the middle of the case that maybe two people that you represent have learned a fact that indicates that maybe they have interests that are adverse to each other. What else do lawyers have to do? Well, they got to keep their clients reasonably informed. They can't steal from their clients, which seems obvious, but yet when lawyers don't do that, clients often don't know. They have an obligation to be competent in the representation that they undertake for their clients. So what happens if a lawyer runs afoul of one of these many rules?
Can you file a grievance?
That's right. There is it's actually called the Attorney Grievance Commission. That's where the process gets started. A client or someone else can file a grievance with the Attorney Grievance Commission. The Grievance Commission then investigates what has been submitted to them and decides...
They're the ones who look into it.
They're the first layer. The takeaway here is it's a long layered process. They will investigate it, and they will ultimately present the results of their investigation to a group of what are called commissioners. There's 9 commissioners. 3 of them are non-lawyers, 6 of them are lawyers. The commissioners then review the investigation, and they make a preliminary determination about what they're going to do. Are they going to enter into some private discipline with the lawyer? Are they going to put the lawyer on probation? Or are they going to recommend further action be taken against the lawyer? And if they do, it can go all the way to what is called the Attorney Discipline Board. The Attorney Discipline Board is really an arm of the Michigan Supreme Court, because all lawyers ultimately, in the end of the day, in the state of Michigan, answer to the Michigan Supreme Court.
Is that where you hear of lawyers being disbarred?
That's right. Because typically disbarment is the most serious sanction.
You're done.
And in order for that to happen, people will typically, it's not uncommon for those cases to go all the way to the Michigan Supreme Court.
Now, if somebody has a question about the way their lawyer has represented them, they can always call you and talk about it.
They can, but I would encourage them to talk with their lawyer first. That's usually the best place to start. You've got a relationship with that person. If you have a concern, talk with them. But if you have a question about this topic or other legal topics, we are around at 616-301-3333 in Grand Rapids, or online at sinasdramis.com, or shoot us an info@sinasdramis.com.
Tom, thanks for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me, Christian.